Welcome back for another 5-minute market update. Bitcoin again is pushing and testing on this long-term overhead resistance level. Let me go ahead and hide all this stuff so you can see how insanely awesome this is. We had a test on Sunday, test on Monday, pierce on Tuesday, test again on Wednesday's daily close, but no dice, not even pushing above this level. Pay attention, guys, because the last time Bitcoin did this exact same thing, a little bit of price action, testing, and it's not really moving until finally it gives way and the price crashes. Now, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. Believe me, my name is Moon and Papa after all. Well, it's Aaron, but you know what I mean. But the reality is that there are some symbols we need to be paying a lot of attention to right now. Namely, RSI, daily RSI is putting in lower highs, which is not a good sign of strength. Daily volume is not exceeding the 30-day moving average of volume. Not good. On-balance volumes moving average is moving up, and the price of Bitcoin is inside of the daily TBO cloud. But again, I'm still paying attention to these two TBT bearish divergence signals. We had two of these back over here in late March before we saw the price of BTC crash about 7%. If we see that same kind of move, a 7% move would be really bad, done to 79K. I don't think we're going to go that low. My short-term target is still about $80,000. I don't think that there's a lot of fear in the market right now, even though there's still tariff uncertainties and stuff like that. But this is still a really strong looking market. Now, with that said, BVOL 7D did crash a bit yesterday, which is a good thing. When BVOL 7D is falling, that means that we should see less volatility for Bitcoin. And believe me, that's exactly what we're seeing right now. A lot of basically zero volatility. But because the price action has been so tight and constricted in a very small range, not able to push above resistance now 4 days in a row, it's not looking good. So I am looking at this a lot more seriously. I am expecting a pullback for BTC to 80,000. Now, if things got really bad, we could see BTC drop down somewhere like this, 77K, maybe 78K. I don't expect Bitcoin to go to 74K or lower at all. Not at all. There's too much good stuff happening. Now, I have a lot of charts that I want to share with you in a very short amount of time. So buckle up. Here we go. Ray is super duper close to hitting our take profit target. I shared a trade setup for this back here on March 29th with the Better Traders Club. It's gone up and down, finally pushing up higher. It's 44% in profit. Our target up here is for 65% profit. It had a nice pump yesterday. Yes, I can brag a little. Why can't I brag a little bit? This is a nice little trade setup that's worked really, really well, especially because it's radium. This is one of those currencies that everyone hated back here. Remember when the market was crashing and everyone was blaming radium and pump fund and Solana? And when it came down here and it found support, I was like, oh, this is a good risky buy. So look at that. It's a great little trade right there. Another one to pay attention to is Ronin. On the weekly time frame, even though a weekly RSI is super duper oversold, it's really bearish. Even though on-balance volume looks ghastly, looking at price action, it's fallen so far from December highs. It's fallen down about 80%, and it's coming up on long-term TBO weekly support, which is massive. It still has to fall another 13%. If Bitcoin does take a tumble, it will definitely hit this level. Now, it could fall a lot lower, but it is reaching an interesting point. We want to wait, though, to see how it reacts to this TBO support level at about 42 cents. Bitcoin Cash printed another TBO close short yesterday. I would not be surprised to see this chart pump yet again. Bitcoin Cash always will overreact to whatever Bitcoin is doing. So keep that in mind. So if Bitcoin dumps, Bitcoin Cash will dump as well. Now, just because we get one of these does not mean we're guaranteed going to pump up higher and higher like you can see over here, but it tells us that the bearish trend is nearing an end. That's a nice little way to rhyme it. Solana had a nice push up yesterday, about 4%. It is still inside the daily cloud. RSI is looking good. On-balance volume is still moving up, especially the moving average. Daily volume outperformed the moving average, which is great. But again, I'm looking at the 4-hour and I'm going, we have another TBT bearish divergence signal that printed at about 5 a.m., my 5 a.m. Or basically at candle close. So basically, like 24 minutes ago. There is an open CME gap at about $121. I have to change that text, not 113, $121. So that's about a 6% drop. Again, in line with Bitcoin if it has a pullback. Litecoin, also has these TBT bearish divergence signals that printed on Monday and Tuesday. This one, I am expecting it to go up higher just because Litecoin is one of those pumpy weird coins, but it could definitely still break support and fall down lower. FARTCOIN continues to oscillate sideways. This is still an amazing chart for trading, you guys. Now, the main thing you need to know is that the price of FARTCOIN has struggled to push above $1. We had a wick back over here on Saturday where it had a high of 0.9895, and then it struggled to push above 96 cents. We had 3 TBT bearish divergence signals right at resistance, and we're seeing the price trying to move up higher. While it could push up, it's looking weak. And if we look at the daily time frame as well, daily RSI is putting in lower highs, which is not a good sign. Yes, on balance volume looks strong. Yes, volume in general is growing, but I do think that it's looking a little bit exhausted right here. Now, this blue flag right here is indicating a TBO close long. Now, this is similar to the TBO close short, but this is the inverse. So when we see a TBO close short here for render, this is letting us know that the bearish trend, again, this is 4-hour time frame, so it's really fast, should be ending soon. Therefore, you might want to consider taking the profits out of your short position, which is a good call at 15% profit. Now we're getting TBO close longs, the inverse of this, letting us know that if you're in a long position and you haven't taken profit yet after a move about 19%, you might want to consider taking some profits here because there's a decent chance that we could see the price reverse. So that's essentially what the TBO close long means. The 4-hour time frame is not as strong as the daily, but we should be paying attention to it, especially because the price of render struggled to push higher above TBO resistance right here, and TBT bearish divergence signals are printing. Hype is also seeing the same exact thing. We could actually just draw this out because the chart of Hype has these 2 TBO resistance levels, 2 TBT bearish divergence signals, and now we have a TBO close long. It doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to definitely fall down, but we should be paying a lot of attention to this. Caspa, similar story here. We have another TBT bearish divergence signal, and we have a close long. Maker, we have 2 TBO close longs. When they're really close together like this is usually a really bad signal, or rather, well, it depends on how you look at it, but we could see Maker, I don't know if it's going to crash that low, but we should see it fall down based off of this signal. And this preempted a pretty decent fall. Did not, again, expect it to go down 18%, but we need to pay attention to these signals, guys. Jasmy as well. Now, when I see 3 of these together, I pay attention. When I see 3 of these together and they're happening right after TBT bearish divergence signals, I'm going to be paying attention. Be careful. Now, the flip side, not everything is bearish, not everything is terrible. Jupiter printed a TBT bullish divergence signal on the daily time frame. Now, unfortunately, because the slow line is still angling downward like this isn't such a strong bullish signal. Just like this one isn't super duper strong bullish, but it is telling us that there should be some sort of bullish impulse like we saw back over here in January where we saw Jupiter pump after this printed 50%. Curve still has an existing open long on the TBO. It has pushed above daily overhead TBO resistance, which is now flipped to support. It's not shooting to the top of the cloud, but again, the target for Curve is definitely above the cloud, which will confirm a super duper strong bullish trend. Note, on balance volume is still moving up a lot. Daily volume is looking amazing. So keep that in mind. And then Core, down here, yep, you can see it's just barely behind my face. Core printed a TBO open long yesterday with a massive pump. It's interesting because I'm pretty sure I just talked about this chart yesterday. On the 4-hour time frame, I was saying be careful because it's coming up on resistance, and lo and behold, pow, shot up like 16%, which is great. Now that we have a confirmed open long, we should see the price continue to gradually move to the top of the cloud, which is at 80 cents, but don't be surprised if it chops up and down until it gets up to that level. Now, I want to remind you, something really exciting is happening on May 15th in Toronto at Consensus. The Better Trader Summit is happening. This is a live in-person training workshop that I'm going to be doing alongside of Benoit Classen, who's the CEO of All Trading. There's a ton of stuff included in this. It's not just trading. There's a ton of stuff. I'm going to scroll down so you can see a little bit. I shared a video about this recently. You get in-person training. We're going to have a coach there. You get a lot of stuff from the Better Traders, including access to our 15 Minutes Financial Freedom course. You get a subscription to the Better Traders Club. And from AllTrade, you also get 3-month subscription to AllTrade. There is a ton of stuff. It's not just training. There are a ton of tools that are included. So if you missed that announcement, I'm going to go ahead and put it up right here. It's going to pop up. Watch it. It's super duper short. And come meet us. Come hang out with us at Consensus. So until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.